All right, so I won't talk as much this time because this only allows me to use 5 minutes at a time. So I'll try and keep it under 5 minutes for sure this time. All right, so box and whisker plots is what we're working on in this part of our unit. So 7.1 is going to be box plots. So the first thing you need to do is always to put the numbers in order. So I'm going to pause it real fast, and you're going to put them in order. And you should see that it should be 2, 3, 4, 7, 19. Not that difficult. When you have more numbers, it does get a little bit more complicated. And then in order to do a box plot, you need to find 5 numbers. The 5 numbers that you need to find are the min, the max, the median, Q1, and Q3. So the min makes sense. It's the smallest number. So in our set of data down here at the bottom, it's the 1. Our max is the maximum or the biggest number. So in that case, it's our 7. Our median is where we find the middle number. So because they're in order, and that's why this is most important, they have to be in order so that we can find the middle. So we go and we count in. Well, it's hard to see which way my fingers need to go. We count into the middle. And so we'll go 1 and 7, 2 and 6, 3 and 5, and then 4 is where they touch, and that's the middle. And so that's our median. And then our Q1, or the lower quartile, is the middle of the lower data. So we have our median in the middle, but then we want to find our median of the lower data as well. And so we ignore the 4. We don't even touch the median to find this. And so we go with the 1 and the 3. And then in between the 1 and the 3 is the 2. So that's our Q1, our lower quartile. And then Q3 is our upper quartile. Same idea, except it's with the data above the median. So it's our middle of the upper data. So we're ignoring the 4 again. We have our 5 and our 7. I don't know why that's so difficult for me to figure out. 5 and 7, and then in between those is the 6, and so that's our upper quartile. So I'm going to give you a second to identify the min, max, median, Q1, and Q3 with this set of data. Okay, so our min is the smallest number, so that's going to be the 2. Obviously, it's the smallest number. Our max is the biggest number, which is 19. When we count in the middle, we have 2 and 19, 7 and 3, and then we land on the 4 in the middle, so that's our median. And then I circled the 4 just because I want to remind myself that I don't want to use that in order to find the Q1 and the Q3. So in order to find the Q1, I'm going to use the data at the lower side of our 4, so 3 and 2, and then count into the middle. And then how would we figure out what number is in between? So take a second, take a guess as to how do we find the number in between the 2 and the 3. Okay, so hopefully you guessed right. If not, here's the answer. We're going to add those 2 numbers and then divide them by 2. So we have 2 plus 3, which gives us 5. Divided by 2 is going to give us 2.5. So that means our Q1 is 2.5. Over here, our upper data, we're ignoring the 4. We have the 7 and the 19. In between them is our Q3. And so again, same idea. It's between 2 numbers. So we're going to add them together to get 26, divide them by 2, and then our answer is 13. So our Q3 is 13. Hopefully you got that. If you didn't, no problems. It's okay. So once we have that data, that's our first step in making our box plot. So we organize our data and then we find our 5 calculations. The next step is to actually draw it out. So all you have to do is make a line and then start numbering it. So you want the scale to be somewhere between, or bigger and smaller than 2 and 19. So our smallest is going to be 2 and our biggest is 19. So I'm going to count by 5s. So I'm going to go 0, 5, and then 1 point to note, I'm using my right hand with a mouse to do this, and so I'm left-handed, and I need to pause because I'm approaching my limit again. Dang it. All right, we'll be right back.